we make you laugh? Aren't we fucking funny?
Does that sound fine?
What's the boogeyman?
Welcome back to the Moonjuice Metal and Horror Podcast, the podcast where we live and breathe heavy metal and horror, but not afraid to shit on both of them. I'm Mike.
I'm Matt. Mike, you're getting really quick with that.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like one of those German ads at the end of them trying to sell you a medication on TV. They're like, Lesen und Lesebeilage, bitte fragen Sie Ihren Arzt oder Apotheker. It's like,
no, it's like, bei riesigen Nebenwirkungen fragen Sie Ihren Arzt oder Ihre Apotheker.
But they say that shit so quick now that you don't, you're like, I know what they're saying, but they're saying it so fast that you don't even understand anymore. It's like,
I should be slower. Okay.
No, I'm not saying you should be anything. It's just that like you said that so quick, like you don't even give yourself an opportunity to fuck it up. Still hoping one of us fucks it up. I know I say that every episode, but I really am. Like I'm waiting for one of us to drastically.
Yeah, I just think we've been doing it for quite some time now.
Yeah, maybe we should change up the opening then. Maybe we should change up what we say. We should with the new season. Maybe we should give the podcast a new undertitle.
I don't know.
Think about it. I say we've been saying that one so much we don't fuck it up anymore. We should make something that's like a tongue twister and then try to say that shit. I bet you we fuck it up every time. Just make it harder on ourselves every time.
Yeah, but if it's every episode, it would also get boring at a point. You know?
Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying we should change it. Fuck it. For anybody that doesn't already know, this is our third and final Christmas film of the Christmas season. This is your Christmas episode. Right.
This is also the final episode of the year.
Yes. This is the end of season 1. Next one you see after this will be the beginning of season 2.
Yeah.
And we're going to start off season 2 with a bang. That's not to say that the movie we're doing today is not a bang. This is probably by far between me and Mike, one of our favorite, I would say horror movie, but I'm just going to say movies. All right, it is a horror movie, right? It's a horror movie, not necessarily in the way that people think of horror being horror. This is not like Evil Dead or any other gore splatter film you've seen. This is pure 80s nostalgia horror that I don't think anyone between the ages of 35 to 60 do not know what this movie is. You would be very hard pressed to find someone who does not know about the movie, cannot quote a part of this movie, doesn't remember a scene or the main character, any of that. This is that popular, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of people would not even consider it to be a horror movie. I mean, even though it is technically, it's listed as a horror movie, but it's more a comedy than horror, but it does have its horror aspect to it. That's undeniable. It's specifically if you're somebody that has often intrusive thoughts, you know, like we both have. I think, like we both have. I mean, I think I way more. I think I have it way more worse than you do.
No, you're just really verbal about your intrusive thoughts. I'm not. Like you're the guy. If you go anywhere with Mike, just because we spend a lot of time together, we're in the same band, we do a lot of the same stuff. If you go anywhere with Mike and you're a friend of his, there's a good chance that if there's a bunch of other people around, he's going to elbow you and whisper in your ear, "Dude, I just want to jump through that cake right now." Or you see that little fucker standing in the corner? I wonder what it would be like if somebody just pulled the rug out from underneath him right now. Like Mike is very verbal about it. Those are the things I'm scared to say. I just keep it to myself. But Mike is like, "Dude, what if this happened?" It's been that way since I've known you, Mike. Talk about your intrusive thoughts all the time. Which is fine. Yeah. At least I know what to expect from you. With everybody else, I have no idea what's going on in their head. But you can't help but verbalize it. You know?
Yeah, but that's why there's just so much things, you know, that happened in this movie. It's the funny thing because these creatures are supposed to be evil, and you're not supposed to root for them, but everything they do, you're just they do shit
Yeah.
that sometimes when
it's
I'm around in people that I think of doing, it's funny. Yeah.
it's true though, that like it's also hard. Like, and this again is going to be one of those movies where it's difficult not to give away what it is. But there are things that these creatures do. Like, I think if I saw one in real life, or if I was in this situation, I would have a hard time putting them down. I would have a hard time killing them, because I think that they are just the embodiment of everybody's crazy part of their mind, right? Because these things do exactly that. Imagine what a human being with no reservation about doing exactly what they want to do all the time would be like, without any qualms of what anybody else thought about it or what trouble they were causing, and just did it. That's all these creatures are. They are the embodiment of absolute chaos of the human mind. They are. And it makes for super entertaining stuff. And I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I mean, the sequel may be a good representation of what I'm about to say, but I'm not sure anybody else could have done this with as much gusto or as much fun as the producer that they chose to do this movie. This guy is brilliant in everything that he does. He's the best at bringing something to the screen and making it fun.
Mm.
And this movie is just, this is the epitome of what this guy can do if you just let him do stuff, right? So, what movie are we doing today, Mike?
Gremlins. The ultimate Christmas, my favorite Christmas movie.
Yes.
And no matter what people say, it is a Christmas movie. The first one, at least.
Yes. Yes. This is definitely a Christmas film. Christmas is
Yeah.
all over this thing. And I think, I don't know, like, you know that it's Christmas, you know that Christmas is going on. There's a lot of Christmas jokes, stuff like that, but it is not Christmassy, if that makes any sense. It's like Christmas in a small
Yes,
town
yeah.
where something chaotic happens during Christmas. And because it's Christmas, it makes it even more chaotic. Which there's a part of this film where the whole town basically disappears, even though this is a small town.
No, it's the entire story
Right.
itself takes place in a small town. I don't know, in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. I don't know. It's a very small.
I was assuming it's also up in the New York area because of the weather that they're having at this time of year. Actually,
Maybe, but it's definitely not in New York. That I know.
I assumed throughout the entire film, just being American, that this happened in New York. But
Yeah.
okay. But I'm gonna let you go through the film because you know this thing scene for scene for scene. So, I feel like I'm gonna take away a lot of Mike's shining time if I try to do this film, because Mike's definitely gonna do a better job.
I'm not saying I could go through it scene for scene. If it was Terminator, I could go through it scene by scene. I've seen Gremlins like, I don't know, a million times, and I probably can go through the plot and the majority of the scenes out of memory. But first, we haven't got into the actors, right?
We
Before
should
get
probably
into it,
do that
huh?
first before we start spazzing on the film.
What I always thought was interesting is that there weren't more stories or movies that have done things with these creatures, because everybody knows Gremlins from this movie. Not even people that younger people that have not seen it. But the funny thing is that Gremlins are actual fairy tale creatures from old folklore. Where this is straight out of the old
Mhm.
folklore legends. They were known as malicious creatures that that broke things around your house.
Right. Yeah.
And that's literally what this movie leads into. I think there was in World War II soldiers that believed that the enemy were putting gremlins into the airplanes to destroy their motors. There was some kind of urban legend during World
Yeah.
War II going on. I'm not entirely sure which side that was coming from. If it was the Americans or the Germans, I'm not sure. But I know there was some urban legend back in the day going on around this with gremlins.
Well,
no?
from what I remember, and it's funny, uh, my career's been the Army. They still say it, and it has nothing to do with this movie. Like, we still say, there's a fucking gremlin in the engine again. I got to check this piece of shit out. We still say there's a gremlin
Yeah.
on that aircraft that's got to be worked on. Blah, blah. It's still a very big military thing. But as far as I remember, this wasn't just World War II, Mike. This went all the way back to World War I and possibly before
Yes.
that. Like you
Yeah.
find people gremlins. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Just little
Gremlins. Yeah.
shitty creatures that sabotage machinery specifically or electronics or anything that you need to work at a certain time and it doesn't work. You blame it on a gremlin, right? But
Yeah.
so do you know, as far as movie history goes, do you know the first time that a gremlin was actually shown on screen?
No.
Okay. It was The Twilight Zone. Do you know who the actor was that was in that episode that had to deal with the gremlin?
No.
Captain Kirk.
You're kidding me.
No, if you haven't seen it, you got to go back and watch it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, back in the day, I think I was too young to watch The Twilight Zone. In the '90s, I watched The Outer Limits.
Yeah.
When they brought the new Outer Limits show. That also, by the way, is based. It's similar to Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
I love that show. Every single second season. It's crazy. What I love about these shows is every single episode is a short story, a self-contained story, and how much of other short stories by different authors inspired these episodes, and how Twilight Zone and Outer Limits, those two shows, inspired entire science fiction franchises.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's I still think it's mind blowing because the Terminator was originally inspired by the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
There was an episode.
Yeah.
That James Cameron was inspired by.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's crazy, dude. And I think that is something
Well,
brilliantly
it's
done.
also great. It's also great for directors too, because you have The Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, Amazing Stories. I don't know if you remember Amazing Stories from the '80s, but that was also a series much like The Twilight Zone. There were some good ones, but that's where a lot of directors got their start too. So a lot of them would start directing episodes of these like serials that didn't have anything to do with each other. Every episode was something different that didn't have to do with the last one, right?
Yeah.
And it would be a short story. That's what Amazing Stories was. That's what The Twilight Zone was. That's what The Outer Limits was. A lot of directors got their start there. For instance, Robert Zemeckis. Robert Zemeckis is the guy who did Back to the Future. The first thing he ever directed was an episode of Amazing Stories. And for that reason alone, you need to go back and watch these. There's actually some Twilight Zone episodes that are also horror, like very much horror.
Yeah, there are some. Yeah.
I would argue that one with the gremlin was definitely horror because that was terrifying. It was such a good version. It was such a good episode that they remade that episode in the newer version of the Twilight Zone movie. So they did a movie and they redid that episode in a movie format, and it was fucking fantastic. I recommend going back and watching the original and that one. Both awesome. But the first time you see a gremlin on scene.
Okay, I did not know that actually. No. Yeah. Before we get into the cast and movie, if you like our podcast, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and leave a comment. And don't forget to hit the bell button to stay updated on all episodes. Okay. Okay. First, the what's crazy is the director is Joe Dante, yeah, and the author is Christopher Columbus. But this is a movie that Steven Spielberg was heavily involved in. And
Yeah,
even on
he
the
was the
poster,
executive
it says, yeah, he's whatever you just said. I don't want to pronounce that word.
Executive producer.
Yeah. Just like we just said, every time you see Steven Spielberg, you always kind of know it's not going to be a bad movie. I can't think of any movie I've ever seen that he was involved with that wasn't good. I mean, they might exist. I'm not claimed to be an expert on this, but I just can't think of anything. No?
Well, I mean, good and bad. And there's not really anything that Steven Spielberg has even been associated with that was bad. I can't think of anything. I mean, it's arguable, and this is going to piss a couple of people off. It's arguable that Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is not a great movie, and he was involved with that one. But whatever, I
So,
digress.
okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but that thing is, with that, that's a matter of taste. That's what different
Yes,
people
yes.
think,
It all comes down to
Um,
taste.
yeah, but yeah. However, okay, we get into the two main characters. There are Zach Galligan that plays Bully,
Yep.
Phoebe Cates who plays Kate. Then Hoyt Axton who plays Randall Peitzer, John Louis who plays Chinese Boy, Key Luke who plays Grandfather. I just call him Mr. Miyagi because I don't know, for some reason this guy reminds me of Mr. Miyagi. Um, I think we have
Yeah.
Don Steele that plays Rocky Ricky Rialto, whoever that is. Okay, another character we have in here is extremely young at the time, is Corey Feldman. Yeah? That plays
Yes.
Pete. I mean,
The poster
back in
boy
the
for
day,
80s movies.
I liked his movies. Yeah, he's known for 80s movies when he was a kid, but he got insanely weird.
That's a nice way of putting it. Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice way. The thing is, never stop being weird. He is still showing up everywhere doing weird fucking things.
Yes.
Corey
And-
Feldman has got a long history of being a weird fucking guy.
Yeah.
He is a poster
But yeah,
boy
it's
for 80s movies. He was also the voice of a Ninja Turtle.
yes. That is true. He was the voice of a Ninja Turtle. That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, which one was he? Was that the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, or was it
Yeah,
later on?
the one from the 80s. He was Leonardo's voice.
Really? God damn it! I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, not Leonardo, Donatello. He was Donatello's voice.
Yeah, but at the time he was still pretty fucking young.
He was a teenager. He was a teenager when
Okay.
the movie came out. He was also a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. He actually
Yeah. Mhm.
approached them wanting to do the voice of one of the Ninja Turtles. So that was his idea.
Oh, okay, cool. I did not know that. No. However, you have Dick Miller who plays Mr. Fuderman. Yeah, and Mr. Fuderman, I like this character. He's also in the second part.
Yeah.
Because this guy is also the crazy librarian from The Howling.
Yes.
Now the
yes,
actor.
he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Then there are, God damn it, there are more. Harry Carey Jr. who plays Mr. Anderson. Polly Holiday who plays Mrs. Deagle. Belinda Blasky playing Mrs. Harris. Some other guy playing a hungry child or whatever. What? So,
The hungry child. I'm trying to
That's right,
remember
so
who the
it's a-
fuck that might be in this film.
Danny, well, it looks like Danny Lyman, whatever, some weird name I can't pronounce. I don't care. Then there's Judge Reinhold who played Gerald Hopkins. This guy I know, I think, from Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also in this movie, but plays a real dick. But by the way, I mean, how should I say that actor? I like usually the movies he does, but I've never seen him play in anything like super serious.
No.
Because the majority of movies he plays in are all comedies to
Mhm.
a degree. Every
He's a
single
comical
one.
actor. Absolutely. I've never seen him serious either.
He's great. I mean, by the way, but also it's just like he kind of always, all of his characters are kind of similar. The last
Yeah.
movie I recently saw him in was The Santa Claus. He's also in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's like, I don't know. This guy he's good. The roles he plays are just funny.
He's a
Even though-
goofy bastard. Yeah.
But I think he's most well known for Beverly Hills Cop. His role in that one.
Yeah.
Even though that show, his character is a complete fucking idiot. But
Yeah. I think this may be a rumor, and I'm not really sure. We may have to look it up because I may just be talking shit. But the actor that they had doing the Gremlins voices in this film was one actor. And so he did all the Mogwais, he did all the Gremlins, including Stripe. His voice, I think it's Frank Welker. And I'm pretty sure he is also the voice of Slimer from the original Ghostbusters cartoon series.
let
could
me
be
see.
wrong.
It might be Frank something. I don't see a Frank here. No,
Look it
the
up
only
later.
thing I see is Don Steele.
Yeah.
Who plays, he says synchronization. So I guess it's that actor. At least, I mean, okay, I'm only looking at the IMDb site.
It's okay.
To
I'll
whatever
go
degree
back and look
that's
at it
a
later, and if
reliable
I'm wrong,
source.
then I'll
Huh?
just edit it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um.
Yeah.
So Chris Columbus was the writer, right? Chris Columbus is best known for Home Alone, right? So if you watch Home Alone and you watch this movie, there's a lot of the same kind of humor. This guy is good at doing chaos
Yeah.
movies where everything's just
Yeah.
going crazy. People are getting hit
Yeah.
right and left. This is what Chris
Yeah.
Columbus is good at. And I was not shocked to see that he was the writer on this.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay, well then I was say let's just get into the movie. Okay, well the movie starts out I think as I say it's in New York,
Yeah.
around Christmas time where you have this inventor running around talking to people until a young Chinese boy approaches him and he brings him to the shop of his grandfather. And of course, the guy starts looking around. He sees all of this weird stuff. You see Mr. Miyagi sitting back in the corner, smoking a pipe. And then the father is the this is like Billy's dad. He's like, okay, I thought this is your dad's shop. He's like, yeah, just look around and see if you like anything. It just looks all super occult and weird to him. He's like, what is this?
Yeah.
Until eventually he hears a noise, something singing. He goes back in the corner, opens up this box to see Gizmo. And he asks the Chinese boy, what is that? He says, it's a Mogwai. And the father turns around, goes back to Mr. Miyagi, and says, I got to get this for my kid. This would be an awesome pet for my son. Mr. Miyagi is like, no, it's not for sale.
Which,
No?
Mike, that is the right answer. Is no. That that is the absolute
No.
right answer you want to give anyone who wants to buy this creature if you know what this creature does. Right? He
I mean,
he doesn't go out of his way to explain it exactly why he's saying no, other than having a Mogwai comes with a great deal
great responsibility. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that just like you said, that's what the old man explains. Having a
Yeah.
Mogwai comes with great responsibility, and he's not for sale. The old man says there's for no money. He's going to sell it because I think his wording is no money in the world is worth what this creature could cause,
Yes.
more or less.
Yeah.
However, the dad kept offering him money up to like $200.
Yeah.
And the Chinese kid was like, "Oh, we need the money, bro." And then
Yeah.
the Chinese kid tells his dad, "Wait outside, for a few minutes. Just wait outside." Huh? And then the dad waits outside. The Chinese boy comes out, gives him the cage with a gizmo in it. At this time, just Mogwai. Then the boy just tells the dad
Yeah.
there are 3 rules that are super important that you always have to follow. And then it cuts to the dad walking down the street while the boy is explaining these rules to the dad. And everybody knows these rules, even people, younger people. This funny thing, even younger people that have not seen this movie knows the rules that are now going to be said because it's all over pop culture.
Yes. Yes.
Do not get it wet. Avoid light at all costs. Sunlight will kill it. And the most important rule, no matter how much it begs, never feed it after midnight.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
okay.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
this should have produced a bunch of questions on this father's part when he received the animal, because like, how are you supposed to keep a fuzzy little creature? And if you have a fuzzy creature like a dog or a cat, they get fucking dirty. You have to wash them. How are you supposed to keep this creature clean if you can't wash it with water or give it water to drink? That would have been my first question, but he's just like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, typical American.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know how to say. It's crazy because if I would see this thing and the guy would not want to sell it,
Yeah.
To me, the question I would ask, I mean, I don't know whatever this animal is, but apparently it's important to the old man. And my first,
Right.
I would have just thought, okay, it's this old man's pet and whatever. I would not. To me, it would feel like I'm taking his pet away from him.
Yeah,
You know, that's
exactly. I
something.
think that's how
That's
most people.
something. That's something I would have had a problem with. But even if it's like, just like you said, like the questions were, why?
Yeah,
I mean, and it's God. It's just like those 3 rules are rules that are impossible not to break.
yeah, yeah. The rules are set
I
in
mean,
opposition of what's natural.
I mean, not letting it into sunlight, okay, whatever.
Fine,
Not feeding it after midnight,
fine.
doable, but not getting it wet.
Yeah,
But
not getting it
this is
wet and not
also a
getting
thing.
water to drink.
Yeah, this is also the thing that brings it up that a lot of people bring up when they saw the movie because you see multiple scenes where multiple gremlins get wet,
Yeah,
including Gizmo, and nothing happens. They don't multiply. But what a lot of people say
right.
is lore and canon breaking, but no, it's not. Because getting wet, it depends on the fluid.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get wet with gasoline, you can get wet with beer, you can get wet with acid. And every single one of them are not gonna have an entirely different effect.
Yeah,
Even beer, technically, beer is not water because beer is water mixed in with another substance.
right.
That
Right.
means the water molecules
Should have said
are
pure
not
water.
pure water anymore. And it has to be pure
Right.
water that gremlins get wet with.
Right.
So this is
Which
brings up another
technically
interesting.
that would also rule out the swimming pool as well, because the water is chlorinized. You know,
Exactly.
but
Yeah. So, but
this is
yeah.
not something you really need to dig into too much. This is one of those
Yes.
like enjoy the fucking movie because it's hilarious and it's
Yeah.
great. Like I can't read into this too much because if you do, the whole thing falls apart. But I don't care. It's a fun movie. You know, I'm not
Well,
gonna beat on
I
that
could,
too much.
I could easily logically explain that away as well. Now,
Okay.
because the swimming pool, it still is water. There is another substance mixed in with it, but not to the level that it ceases to be water.
Okay.
Yeah, for example, um, beer is no longer water because there are multiple processes it goes through, and multiple things that are mixed in with it to the point where it's not water anymore. You know, when it comes to the swimming pool, for example, it's just water with a little bit of chlorine in it, but it still is water.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that doesn't rule out the swimming pool. I mean, this is a crazy thing. Basic chemistry knowledge can explain that away.
Okay.
I mean, I would even say 6th or 7th grade chemistry education.
Yeah.
I mean, at least from Germany. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you could dig into this all day, but I mean, quite honestly, just for
course.
safety's sake, I would say anything that is water based, you probably don't want to get anywhere near this thing. Like
Exactly.
Coca-Cola, you know, any soft drink. Fucking no. Like nothing wet is getting near my mogwai after.
Yeah, well, it's just just like you said, you can't read too much into it. That's what a lot of people do. And it's not a discussion I've had over the years when it comes to this movie. Just something I wanted to bring up straight to begin with.
Here's the thing too that I'll bring up later, but when we get to it and see if it makes sense to you. It's not something I noticed the first time. I noticed it this time and I was like, that's a point maybe to bring up, but I'll do that when we get there.
Yeah. Okay. However, then the movie cuts back to the small town, you know, where this inventor is from, Billy's dad. You see like a small town, it's short in front of Christmas, you know. You see a place where a guy is selling Christmas trees. There's Corey Feldman is dressed up as a Christmas tree, was in this scene. And then you see Billy, this is the main character, running down the road with his dog because he's hurrying off to work. He's in a bank. Right. So he goes down to work and puts his dog on the leash under his desk and then start working. And then Phoebe Katz, I think what's her name? What's her character name? Kate. I think Kate is her name. I'm just gonna call her Kate. I think it's Kate,
yeah. Huh? The girl that there with him. Yeah.
Yeah, Kate. However, she she says something to him.
She's trying to get him to sign a petition because uh,
Mhm.
the place where she lives has a bunch of people living there or whatever, and the landlord is trying to sell it
Mhm.
to somebody else, which would mean everybody in that housing complex has to move. And so she's trying to get enough names on a petition to make him not sell it. So that's what she's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They have a short discussion and then something about I think she also mentions to him that Mrs. Deagle wanted something. Nah? And
Yes.
Mrs. Deagle is gonna be a few times in this movie. She's a typical dragon lady. Yeah. Shortly after that, you see her Mrs. Deagle coming down the street, super pissed off, heading towards the bank. Nah? And she comes across a family, nah? And this is like this mother with her kids, nah? Trying to tell her that something because of rent, they can't pay the rent in time, and if she could just, postpone it a while because it's Christmas or whatever. And this Mrs. Deagle is like, well, no. I want my money and not my problem, and this just keeps on walking. What
Yes.
shows that she's not really
This woman,
a very nice person. what, yeah. What
this
makes
woman, in my opinion, is like the worst person in the. She is
exactly.
the
Yeah,
epitome of a garbage human being in every
exactly.
way possible.
What makes it so much more funnier than what the Gremlins do?
Yes,
Though,
it is. It is. Mike, this is single-handedly, and I don't want to give anything away, but this is single-handedly the best movie death of almost any film out there. Like, you wanted this woman to get it so bad, and she gets it, and it's like a super high point in the film when she dies. There's not one person that saw this movie that did not clap when she died and laugh their ass.
yeah.
She is a
Of course,
villain
yeah.
in every sense of the word, and you'll find out more about that right now.
Yeah, because she comes storming into the bank talking to Billy about something his dog did. She clearly states she hates this dog, yeah? And she wants him to give her his dog.
Yes.
And she basically just puts out what all evil things she's going to do to his dog. The dog
Yeah.
eventually gets pissed off, jumps over the desk, and goes after her. Funny scene by the
Yes.
way. But then Billy, of course, stops his dog, did his boss, and his boss comes to Mrs. Deagle and another guy, the asshole that I'm going to call ass kisser.
Yes.
Um, also shows up, kind of checking out what's out, looking after Miss Deagle, and she's acting like, "Oh, my poor heart," or whatever. I have heart issues. No. Then the ass kisser
Yes.
is like, "Hey, Billy, this is work. You're not supposed to bring your dog with." No. Then
Yeah.
the boss says, "Yeah, I'm right." I don't know, whatever the guy's name is. He's like, "Oh, thank you, boss." So typical ass kisser.
Yeah,
that
yeah, he
just,
is. He is. This guy is a
everybody knows these
piece of
people
scum.
at work. The typical guy that just does not really do work, just walks around, complains about how everybody else at work sucks at what they're doing, and kisses the boss's ass all the time. Everybody knows that person. That's this guy.
Yeah.
Why I'm calling him ass kisser.
This is the guy who gets sugar in his
However,
gas tank or gets beat up going to his car after work by everybody else who works there.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
what's ultimately going to happen to this guy eventually.
Yeah. However, then Mrs. Deagle says something mean to Billy again, what she's going to do to his dog. And then, right in front of everybody, that instantly goes back into, "Oh, my poor heart, my poor."
Yeah.
What just shows that she's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
if you didn't need any other
However,
clear indication of how much of a piece of shit she was, she threatened. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, Mike. If it was me behind the desk or you behind the desk or any other reasonable person, and this woman said to me or you what this woman said to him, what she was going to do to his dog, I would go to jail for beating her to death. Like, you can't threaten my dog's life, period, because I'm going to beat you to death. This woman is a terrible, terrible, awful person. Just wanted to slide that in there again because that's going to be really fucking important later.
yeah, good. However, then it continues back to Billy's house. Yeah? I think Billy comes home talking to his mom or whatever. No. And during this time, Pete, no, played by Corey Feldman, comes in, still dressed as a Christmas tree.
Poor bastard. This is
Poor bastard.
fucking worst winter job in the world.
And
Put on my Christmas tree costume. Fuck.
and comes pulling in the Christmas tree. No, they have a short conversation. Then Pete goes off again, and Billy and his mom set up the Christmas tree. And in that period, the dad comes home. No, they're all greeting, blah blah blah. I'm not talking whatever. And then the dad gives Billy his present and says, "Here, no, I got this present for you, but it can't wait to Christmas. You're gonna have to open it up now." No, good. But then he just tells him to turn off the lights.
Right.
No?
Right.
And everybody's like, okay, weird, but then they turn off the lights. Then Billy opens up the box and he sees Gizmo in it, no? And of course, Billy is instantly like super, happy and surprised about this present because he doesn't know what is this. And the dad says it's a Mogwai.
Yeah.
And then Billy, it just Gizmo being totally fucking adorable, just looking at him, no? And he takes him out, holds him, and starts paying him or whatever. And till the mom says, "Oh, we'll have to take a picture of this." She pulls out a Polaroid camera, takes a picture of Billy holding Gizmo, and the flashlight instantly freaks out Gizmo because, of course, he's sensitive to lights. Gizmo runs and up to the dad, hugging him and being totally afraid. And this is where the dad explains, "Oh yeah, he's afraid of lights," and that he explains the rules basically to him that you have to keep him out of lights at all time, and that sunlight will kill him. But then he also tells him the other rules that you never make him wet, don't even give him water to drink, and never feed him after midnight. Okay. Then you have however, then it cuts up to Billy and Gizmo up in Billy's room. And Gizmo is singing a tone, but Billy is actually on a keyboard pushing a note, and Gizmo instantly copied that, like singing the same note.
Yeah.
And they have like this interaction between Gizmo and Billy. Super cute, by the way.
I think Mogwais in general, the only reason that this species probably wasn't wiped off the map and why Gizmo exists is because they're so damn cute when they're not in gremlin form. Like, these things are by far the cutest fucking animal you've ever seen in your life. Like, everybody would want one of these. It's basically a living Furby, right? But in reality, these things would have been wiped off the planet with what they become. But the only reason they don't is because they're fucking adorable. Gizmo is by far the cutest fucking creature to ever come out of the 80s, period. Adorable. And I didn't know anyone when I was a kid who didn't have this stuffed animal either. I had one. I mean,
yeah, Gizmo. Yeah, everybody knew Gizmo back in the day. He was modern days Baby Yoda.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I would even say Baby Yoda is basically just a copycat of Gizmo.
He is.
He is.
That's exactly what they were going for with.
If I look at if I see Baby Yoda or Groku, whatever his name is, I just instantly my first thought was, God damn it, this is just a rehash of Gizmo.
That's exactly
what Gizmo was.
Yeah,
just Gizmo was better.
They're not fooling any of the '80s kids at all.
Gizmo gets hurt. I'm not entirely sure how. I think the dog comes up and he falls off into a bucket.
Yeah,
and however Billy takes Gizmo,
it has something to do with lights. I think
goes with him to the bath.
Somebody turns on a light. That's what it was. Somebody turns on a light and it flashes him again, and that's what causes him to fall into the trap.
Exactly. Billy takes Gizmo to the bathroom, turns off the lights because Gizmo starts complaining about the lights, puts a Band-Aid on him, and then they go to bed. The next scene is Billy getting up in the morning and getting ready for breakfast. And his dad is like this crazy inventor that invents stuff all the time, and none of his inventions works.
It all sucks. Worst inventor in the world.
Yeah. However, there's this supposed to be an orange juice machine, and he gets a glass, wants in a glass of orange juice, but looks at the machine his dad makes, and is like, "Should I try it? Yes or no?" However, He
Yeah.
tries this orange juice machine from his dad, and it does not work at all. You see some mush coming out of it. In this time, Pete also comes in the
Feldman's
room.
character, yeah.
Corey Feldman character, exactly. And the entire kitchen is just covered in orange mush.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, and right towards the end, Corey Feldman is like, "Well, look, it does work because a few drops of orange juice starts to come out. Then, boom, you see another gush come out of the thing." And of course, Corey Feldman and Billy go up to Billy's room, and Gizmo gets covered by clothes. They sort of had a short discussion of a lot of things going on with comic books or whatever, because this is a story that points out that Billy is a big comic book fan. Then Corey Feldman discovers Gizmo. Now, and it's like this scene everybody would react. He's a total adorable, cute little animal. No? And yeah. Basically, Billy just shows off his new pet Gizmo. But this is always something that instantly how should I say it? How intelligent Gizmo is. Every normal person would instantly notice this thing is not an animal.
Yes.
I mean, this thing is so intelligent.
Yeah.
It has human level intelligence.
Yeah.
What Billy, by the way, should have noticed instantly.
Yes.
What they all should have noticed.
That's
instantly.
one of the things.
No?
That's one of the things about the movie is you have to suspend disbelief about a lot of things, but probably that's the most specific thing that you kind of have to let go is that Gizmo and all the Mogwais, after even just being born, exhibit very, very high levels of intelligence. They can even say words, but nobody seems to think this is strange at all.
Yeah. However, because exactly, this is the scene where it starts to go wrong. No? Because Gizmo is on the table, and I think the dog jumps up on the table and pours a glass of water onto Gizmo. Yeah?
Yes.
Gizmo starts screaming in pain. Not like he's super bad or whatever. And then Pete is asked Billy what was in the cup, and he says, yeah, just, I think, normal water. But this is, okay, Gizmo is on the desk, pounding his legs and arms, screaming like he's in super pain.
Which none of them seem to be very concerned
And then you
about
see a full
he's in either.
Yeah. Well, actually, I would say they don't really know what happened. And Billy is just looking like, kind of shocked. He doesn't know what he should do or if he can do anything. Then you see, after he has all of this pain, you see a fur ball, boom, shooting out of Gizmo. And then what the fuck is this now? Now, you see like this fur ball just keep on growing bigger and bigger and bigger until more fur balls come shooting out of Gizmo. Until like these 5 fur balls. And they all start to go bigger and bigger.
Like
at this
point,
point, it's
tribbles.
What? Tribbles. Exactly. Tribbles.
The Star Trek tribbles.
I mean, it's clear what's going on at this point because I said don't get it wet. It got wet with water.
Yeah.
And this is where it shows that this is how Mogwais or Gremlins multiply through water, that they multiply when they get wet. Yeah. These furballs, these tribbles eventually grow into other Mogwais, well, newborn Mogwais, until you see that they all look different. And you see Strife, the worst one that has his mohawk on his head. Shortly before this happened, Corey Feldman's character, oh, can I have one as well? And then Billy said, like, oh, I don't know where we can get one, but this is, my Mogwai. However, they walk up to the bed. Billy is totally entranced by what just happened. And Pete is like, oh, now look, I can have one. They're all super cute, just like Gizmo. He wants to hold up and pet Strife, and Strife instantly bites at him. Yeah?
Yes. Strife was an asshole from the beginning. This little Mogwai was born to be the asshole of the group. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is kind of weird. Also, something that was always kind of crazy because why are all other Mogwais so different from Gizmo?
So
that is
we had a discussion about that when we were watching the movie. I think that Gizmo is older and has been around for a while. I don't think he is
Yeah.
a brand new Mogwai. I'd say, I
Yeah,
don't know how
yeah,
many
yeah,
years, but he's obviously older and has not
yeah, yeah.
been formed. So he understands how the world around him works. He understands humans. That's not something that these newborn Mogwai understand. So I would say Gizmo's old.
Probably. Yeah, that's something that I came to the conclusion
Yeah.
that in this state, the Mogwais are not evil yet because they haven't turned into gremlins.
Right.
It's just that they're kids. They're newborn kids, and they're acting like brats because just like with humans and kids, you have to discipline them, and that doesn't mean like anything bad, screaming or
Yeah.
whatever. That they want to. I don't want to come across that way, but
It means you
they have to
train them just like you would a dog or anything else.
a person. A person. Yeah, just like a dog or a person, just train them. I think eventually these Mogwais probably eventually could have become just like Gizmo, but unfortunately that's not what happens.
No.
However, Billy goes down to his dad and is like, yeah, dad, there's something going on. No? When he talks to his dad, he's like, what? He said there's something wrong with the Mogwai. And they're like, what exactly do you mean? And Billy's like, well, they multiply in water. And he's just absolutely confused, like, what?
Dumbass.
No? Then he goes up and, or he goes down to the front room, Billy and his dad. And the Mogwais have already opened up the Christmas presents and are playing with them.
Yep. Yes. They do not have to be gremlins to be mischievous at all. They are already mischievous and
Yes,
smart
they're all mischievous.
without
Yeah.
being gremlins, for sure.
Exactly. Did you see them playing more or less with this toy that's a mini arcade machine? And Billy's just like, yeah, Dad, this is
Yeah.
super weird. They're also different from Gizmo. Then you see Gizmo playing with one of the other toys with a dog while Strife spits at him,
Yes.
kind of bullying Gizmo. And then the dad is like super surprised because the dad sees dollar signs instantly.
Yes.
He's
Of
like,
course.
oh, wow. We can make a lot of money with this. And every kid would want one. And their pets are very easy to produce.
Yes.
But bad fucking idea, no? But at least they don't instantly get into it, no?
Yeah.
Because then it goes off into the night, no? Where Billy and Gizmo are sleeping, and the other Mogwais have their own bed, Strife and the others, no?
Right.
Billy at this point even states that Strife seems to be their leader, no?
Mhm.
What is this the case that Strife is established as the leader of the Mogwais? Then this is the first time where it shows how mischievous Mogwais are, and I'm going to be honest. At this point, these Mogwais are basically ferrets. Matt.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I got that feeling too. I
Yes.
was like, if you had to compare them to anything, it would be ferrets. Yes.
Exactly. That's exactly what these things are. However, in the middle of the night, the Mogwais tie up the dog to Christmas lights outside of the front door.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was a question I had. So I think when I originally watched this movie, I thought that the dog got tied up in Christmas lights by the mean woman who wants to hurt the dog. But I guess it was the Mogwai, right?
Yeah. It was the Mogwai
Okay.
because the old woman would have taken the dog. And you can clearly see
That's true.
Strife looking at the dog. He wakes up and looks over at the dog, Strife. In that scene, that's why
Okay.
I instantly knew it was the Mogwais. However, Billy gets out, takes the dog down. I think he also suspects the Miss Deagle, the mean lady.
Hmm.
At this point, my first thought was the Mogwais. And even in this situation, I would have been the Mogwais. The crazy thing is, it's still mind-blowing to me that anybody sees these things as pets or just animals. Even though they are clearly showing, see them in the front room playing video games.
Yeah.
That is human level intelligence.
The only reason why it made me think that it might be the mean woman is because these Mogwais would have gotten outside and then done that with the dog and then probably escaped, right? but
No, not
instead they came
necessarily.
back inside and shut the door.
Yeah,
Whatever.
the thing, no, actually not, because this is the point. These Mogwais have no reason to leave the house. They have a nice, warm home with a bed for them. They have
Yeah.
toys to play with. They have food. They have water, and they have a person that is willingly gonna basically clean up after them all day.
Yeah. Good point. Okay.
Even so, there is no way these Mogwais at this point would have left the house. For what reason? It would be stupid.
Yeah.
They have everything they need.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay.
So that's why I instantly came up with the Mogwais. That's why I thought it was,
What a shitty thing to do to a
even
dog,
though the
though.
scene
I feel
before,
bad
you
for
see
this dog.
Stripe. I know, but the thing is, you see Strife looking at the dog,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
shortly
So yeah, it was fair.
that's how I why I came up. Of course, it's a shitty thing to do, but
Yeah.
this is also just something that is supposed to show how different the other Mogwais are from Gizmo.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Right.
But at this point, they're not gremlins yet. You could still say they're not evil by nature. They're just mischievous. No? What is not necessarily
Yeah.
evil, but you
Yeah.
could direct these young creatures to become like Gizmo. I mean, but
Yeah.
they don't have the time for that. However, then Billy takes one of the Mogwais to a professor at school, a
Yeah.
teacher, because he wants to show it to him. No? The teacher also is instantly super excited about this creature because he has no idea what it is. And Billy shows him
Yeah.
what happens when they come to water. He puts a drop of water onto Gizmo. What leads to not Gizmo. I think it's one of the other Mogwais.
Yeah,
No?
it's one of the other Mogwais. Yeah.
However, then instantly that shows a furball coming out, and you see a second Mogwai.
Yeah.
So apparently, it's not only water; it's the amount of water.
Yeah.
That it get wet with. That depends on how much Mogwais are created. However,
Right.
then after a discussion, Billy decides to leave the new Mogwai with the professor so he can do tests on it. However,
Right.
then Billy goes out, goes on with his day, and the Mogwais are at home. This not much is shown at home from Billy and his parents or whatever. However, this is where, I mean, sometime I think in the afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
you see Billy goes into a bar to guess have a drink or whatever.
Yeah.
This is where he comes across Kate because she's working there. And also the ass kisser from work is also there. And this is
This
where
guy.
he's an asshole because Kate first you see Billy and ass kisser talking to each other. And then Kate comes up and is like, "Oh yeah, you're here too." And then Kate says, "Yeah, I work here as a waitress during the day or whatever." Billy's like, "Oh yeah, I think that's great." Probably just trying to involve in a conversation with her.
Yeah. I mean, she's a very good-looking girl. I will say that.
And she's nice. She's a nice
Very,
girl.
very
and she's
nice
good-looking as
girl
well.
who's also very good.
However,
Yeah.
however, then Ass Kisser is like, "Yeah, if you like working for free." Both Billy and Kate roll their eyes, and then Kate continues with her work. The ass kid. I've met guys like this at work as well, and
Yeah, everybody knows this guy, Mike. Everybody knows this fucking guy.
easily. And he's like, "Yeah, you have to be an asshole today. You have to go with the time. And I'm 23. By the time I'm 25, I'm going to be promoted. And by the time I'm 30, I'm going to own the bank." I mean, of course, obviously, very often these are the type of people that actually career-wise go somewhere.
Of course.
Sometimes not. But just a complete fucking asshole. There's no other word for it. However,
that most of the time, this type of person are exactly who run things because this kind of person is willing to step on the backs of everyone else to get to that position. So he's right. I mean, you can't fault the guy for being wrong. Like, if you want to get ahead fast and get to the top, then you have to be someone who's willing to be morally bankrupt for the most part. And that's what this guy is. It's morally fucking bankrupt.
Yeah, totally. However,
Yeah.
I think later on, shortly before the bar closes, you see Mr. Futterman, and Kate having discussion with Mr. Futterman is totally wasted.
Wasted
For
off his head.
some Billy is not really said why, but Billy is still at the bar at one of the last people. To me, it was obvious. I thought that he wanted to probably ask out Kate for a date or whatever.
Oh, of course. That's what his plan was, yeah.
Yeah, that's why he was still there, but couldn't kind of trying to build up his courage to ask her out.
Yeah.
However, she closes up the bar, and Kate convinces Mr. Futterman to walk home instead of driving home. And then Kate and Billy decide to walk home together. Well, they just walk home, have a normal discussion. Kate brings up that she hates Christmas. And Billy is why he hates Christmas.
Yeah.
This is a short conversation. And Kate is aggravated by Christmas. She does not like it at all. This conversation goes on until they're short at Kate's home. Right before Kate's enter, Billy finally brings up the courage to ask her out on a date. And she says yes, typical situation.
Yeah.
We've all been in. She goes in, and then Billy walks back home.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a quick scene here that happened when what was the guy's name that stayed in after hours who was drunk? Mr. What? Mr. Finnerman?
It's a Finnerman, yeah. Yes, yeah. I forgot he mentioned Gremlins.
Yes, this is where you get the introduction to what these creatures might actually be, and it was really smart how they did it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because I wanted to mention this scene specifically because it also shows how America was back in the 80s, right? So this is early 80s. This guy drove his tractor to the bar. And the reason he did that was because you could only get a DUI in America at this time if you drove your car drunk. So what farmers would do would be to take farm equipment to the bar, because if they drove home their farm equipment drunk, they couldn't get arrested for it because it wasn't a car. So that's what this guy did. He wanted to get back in his tractor and drive it home because he couldn't get a DUI driving a tractor. He couldn't get the tractor started, and he immediately blamed it on gremlins and described what gremlins are. And that's kind of where you get the introduction to these creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But this is funny that it's kind of a
the
weird
80s was wild.
It was wild that he said you can only get DUI if you drive a car, because in Europe it's always been that way.
Yeah, I know.
Now this is not shit a lot of Americans do not know. Even if you are not even in a car and you're drunk and you are jaywalking, drunk, that causes a car accident, you could lose your car license over it in Germany.
That's right.
If you participate
in Europe, you can get a DUI on a bicycle. You can get a DUI on a bicycle. You can get a DUI on a non-motorized scooter.
On a skateboard?
On a skateboard, yes.
In Germany, you can get a DUI on foot, Matt.
Yeah.
That's what I just explained.
Yeah.
By foot.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be in a fucking vehicle. You just have to disturb the traffic on the road in any way.
Yep.
You'll get a DUI. That's crazy, dude.
That's crazy.
I mean, obviously, if you get hit, if you get hit by a car drunk, obviously not. It's not that ridiculous. But you just have to, if you're drunk and you somehow cause a car accident in any way, it's a DUI. Getting hit by a car does not count because getting hit by a vehicle is a different thing.
Yeah. Yeah, then you'll just get like extreme public intoxication charges. But those are nowhere near as bad as losing your license.
However,
wild.
After this, Billy is at home. I think reading a book, watching TV. Gizmo was watching TV.
Gizmo's watching TV and working on every program.
Yeah, and mimicking everything he's seen in the TV. Well, it's super cute.
Yeah,
Gizmo
comes up in Gremlins too, in a really cute scene too.
Yeah, exactly. However, then you see the Mogwais yelling and screaming because they're hungry and they want food. Billy just looks at them like, "Oh, what is your problem? You already had something to eat." Then he looks at the clock and says, "Okay, it's not past midnight yet." He goes down into the fridge, gets some chicken, brings it up, and gives it the Mogwais. And this is like this is what shows you that something weird is going to happen, because you see the Mogwais just slinging down the food and their mouths getting slimy and whatever, no?
Yeah.
And Billy is like, "Oh, you guys are actually super fucking hungry, no?" He pulls out a chicken leg, tries to give it to Gizmo, and Gizmo's like, "No, don't want it." Then he puts it back into the Mogwai's box and goes to bed to sleep.
Yes.
Now,
I feel like Gizmo
Billy-
could have warned him. Am I wrong about that? Gizmo could have warned him in some way.
Gizmo could have warned him. No.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
But
But this is like that. It is a plot hole, definitely, that Gizmo could have warned him. But yeah, the plot has to happen. However, it
I
gets
guess so,
back
yeah.
to
not reading into that too much.
it gets back to the teacher that has the Mogwai, the other Mogwai, in a cage, no, and is doing his tests, showing that he takes blood from the Mogwai and does something that hits him in the ass in the end, because the Mogwai remembers this, of course, because it hurts him. No?
Yes.
And the guy's just it's a small animal, and he's being like, I don't know. In my
Super
opinion,
rough.
it's a very abusive
Yes,
what he's
I
doing
thought
here.
so too.
Keeping it
Super rough.
in this he's super
Yes.
rough, keeping it in this super small cage, and is being mean to it, eating in front of it, doing his work or whatever. No? And at one point the scientist or the teacher says, "Okay, well, let's call it a day." No? Lets his sandwich lay on the table, picks up a bag of chips and walks out the door.
Yep.
And this is like,
Yeah. I don't think he was told the rules, Mike. Is there ever a point where
I mean, no. First, I mean,
he was
okay,
told
the
the
teacher
rules of what you can and can't do?
he was not told the rules. But one thing I do not understand how wasteful he's handling these things. He hasn't even eaten up his meal and picks up a bag of chips.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. There's a lot of things that this teacher does
I mean,
that don't make any sense to me.
However, okay, he leaves the door and the Mogwai manages to get the sandwich. I'm not entirely sure. I think he uses a hook, a string or whatever. But the Mogwai pulls the sandwich towards his cage. You just hear him say "yum yum." Obviously, that he's going to eat the sandwich.
Of course.
Billy wakes up the next morning and sees that all of the Mogwais have spun themselves into cocoons. Really nasty looking cocoons.
Yes, these things are fucking disgusting looking, dude. Like it's like the eggs from Alien, except 10 times grosser. They're just covered in slime.
Exactly. Yeah, but this is
Like I would have been really worried at this point.
Me too. This is the thing at this point. I'm going to be honest. I think I would have tried to get some expert in on it. I'm not sure what disease control is in your area, or in the States, what that's called.
You just call the police, basically.
No, at this point, I would have called the cops.
Yeah,
I would have done something, but because you do not know what these creatures are, nobody really knows these Mogwais. And in the morning, I mean, Billy walks down and gets his mom. She comes up into his room, and they're like, "Okay, what happened now?" No, then they went through the rules. They didn't get wet. And did you feed them after midnight? And Billy's like, no. Then he looks up to his clock and sees that the cable was ripped out. The Mogwais, obviously.
Yes.
Well, so he thought it was, he fed them past midnight, even though he thought it was before midnight.
Yes.
But even if this is like the first thing where Billy is highly irresponsible and a little bit dumb, because I would have not left my dog and my mom in this house. I would have told them to go over to the neighbors, and I would have called the cops. Yep. Because the point is, at this point, you broke pretty much every rule so far.
Yes,
they've spun themselves into cocoons, and even with a basic knowledge of education, you know what that means.
Yeah.
However, because you do not know at this point what's going to come out of those fucking cocoons,
right? Huh? Yeah. And by the looks of them, it's not going to be something very nice.
You don't know, but usually it's not. I mean, movie terms. When it comes to nature, not necessarily. This is how every insect basically reproduces.
Yes.
No, they're born as larvae or maggots. No, they spun themselves in the cocoon and then they come out. No, depends. I mean, flies aren't necessarily dangerous. Neither. No, ants. Ants is not the same. That's something differently.
Yeah.
No, but there are a lot of insects that reproduce that way. But even though you do not know what's going to come out of this cocoon. However,
No.
then it cuts back to Billy is now the teacher, I think together with Pete. And then they're like, yeah, then he explains what it is. He says, yeah, it's a cocoon. And it's called in nature the pupal stage. No?
The pupa stage, yeah.
Yeah, where it's going through metamorphosis, appearance of everything. Now, so basically, the teacher explains to him that once this is done, it's going to come out. What's going to come out is something entirely differently. Yeah? Considering how the Mogwais have acted so far, it should be obvious to Billy that what's going to come out is not going to be nice.
Yeah. To be fair, these are the most clueless people to begin with. One, not asking enough questions about what this creature is and what it does and why the rules are set that way. And then when this happens, not being more concerned about it is the thing that bothers me in this movie more than anything. Is the sense of non-urgency for all of this.
Yeah, there's no urgency at all. Even with the scientist, he knows what's going on. What does he do? He cuts the thing outside of the cage, out of its cage, and then puts it into a box.
Yeah, like that's going to do.
I would have put it in another fucking cage.
Yes.
However, but yet this is just it's insanely moronic because it should be clearly to everyone at this point that this is not normal. These are not normal creatures.
Right.
I mean, of course, nobody's going to think about gremlins at this point, but there's just, you do not know what's going to be. They could just be wild animals. But even if wild animals can be dangerous.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that they're evil. They're just wild animals.
Yes.
And you do not know how they're going to. And if I had my dog and my mom at home with 5 of these things in my house, I wouldn't have let the house.
Mm-mm.
That's just like a lot of these people are insanely naive because Billy is not stupid. Neither is his mom. And of course, the scientist not as well. All of these people are super irresponsible and super naive.
Yes. Yes.
I would call it
probably more naive than people would have been in real life. And I think that's what really bothers me because anybody would have been on the phone with the police.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, of course, this is shortly, I'm not sure where. After that, it cuts to his old science fiction movie. It might even be The Thing.
I think it is. I couldn't make it out when I was watching it, but I think it's probably The Thing. Yeah.
After this, it cuts to a movie scene. I think it's Gizmo. It might be Gizmo at home, or the teacher showing kids a movie in class or whatever. I'm not sure. However, it cuts to a scene that's obviously foreshadowing what's going to happen. You see like this big egg opening up and something creepy coming out of it. Huh? Shortly after this point, I think the mom has a conversation with the dad on the phone, and he's at some inventor con.
Yeah.
No? And he's like, yeah, well, the competition is pretty severe and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
This is just a thing. This is supposed to show that the dad's gone. And this is also something that kind of like made me feel like the dad is an idiot because it's Christmas. I mean, I would have not gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not that type of family type, but I rarely travel throughout Christmas time because I know there's usually one day over Christmas where my family gets together. Now it's 2 days, for example. So I'm usually at home. I never really know what day it is. This year was 25th, and today, I mean, my family is upstairs at the moment. No, but this is just like I'm not going to go away for like a week. I think it's dumb, specifically for married and yet whatever.
This was just used to show that the dad was away, but quite honestly, there's no inventors convention that's going to happen on the 24th. That's ridiculous. But I mean,
It
if
is.
there was one, this guy would have gone to it because it is clearly established that this father is out of his fucking mind. None of his inventions work. He's a complete maniac. And the whole family knows it, and they just put up with his shit because they're a supportive family.
But yeah, they're a supportive family, but obviously, I mean, they have a house and everything. They're doing pretty well. So obviously, this guy must have done something to make money. So obviously,
Well, it is the 80s, Mike. We had this same discussion when we did Poltergeist. I mean, in the 80s, you could be somebody who barely made any money and have a really nice house. That was a normal thing. Like the economy was affordable. This guy could be making, maybe $1,000 a month, and they could have afforded that house and a car and everything. But now you're not even going to be able to afford cable TV on their fucking budget. You know what I mean?
and this is exactly the point where the gremlins start hatching from their cocoons. Also, you see like the cocoons swelling and the gremlins starting to come out of the cocoons, and Gizmo is hiding in a football helmet while the mom is downstairs. At this point, so far, the mom is not suspecting anything unusual. No. And also during this time, the teacher is showing a movie to kids in class while the gremlin in his cocoon in the box is also hatching. You can see by the box moving around.
Right.
He's like, "Oh, what's happening?" Until the box falls over, and then the gremlin just you hear him running out. At this moment, the teacher says, "Okay, class is out. Everybody leaves the room." And the teacher goes in to, I think, the laboratory or his other room where he had the other gremlin to look for it. At this point, he doesn't know that's a gremlin yet. Then it cuts back to the scene at Billy's house. The gremlins now have all fully hatched, and they're just torturing Gizmo.
I feel very bad for Gizmo at this point.
Yeah,
Very
because the gremlins just are torturing him. They're playing darts. They put him on a dart scheibe. No,
dartboard.
I'm not sure. The dartboard and start throwing darts at him.
Yeah.
No. Until the mother starts screaming like, "What's up? What's happening upstairs?" This is the point I think where the gremlins notice her.
Yeah.
No? And the mother goes upstairs and all the gremlins are gone. And everybody's like, "Okay, what's happening?" And this is also, she goes back downstairs and see one of the gremlins eating the Christmas cookies.
Yes. Yes. This scene is one of my favorite scenes in the movie, Mike. I fucking hate this because this mom kind of has an idea of what's going on, and now she's seen one of these things, but does not waste any time starting to straight up murder them. Doesn't care. She's gone from like one of the nicest, most understanding mothers in any 80s movie to a straight murder killer. She starts slaughtering things one by one, and I love it.
Yeah,
you got to give it to her, dude. She's great in this scene.
Exactly. However, the one gremlin starts sticking its head into the mixer, and then she just turns it on, and that.
Little fucking gremlin legs just kicking, going around in a circle, and like green goo flying everywhere. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. And this is what makes this movie hilarious is this is actually a pretty brutal scene, but still it's fucking funny. It's just because it's the gremlins are just happy at they're happy at everything they're doing. They're doing the most evil shit. They're having fun.
Oh yeah, they don't give a fuck, dude. These things just want to destroy everything.
And the funny thing is, right after that, the next gremlin just starts throwing pay plates at the mom, and she picks up a board to protect herself from it, and the gremlin is just throwing plates at her, laughing his ass off. And she eventually, I think, takes the one and puts it in the microwave and turns on the microwave, carrying it that way, just explodes in the
so
microwave.
that scene right there, Mike, that scene right there was the only scene from this movie to get edited in America for regular TV. So every part of this movie was completely okay. They didn't censor anything except for the microwave scene. So she grabs one, she sticks him in the microwave, and she turns it on. And you can see the gremlin like looking at the microwave glass, and then he just explodes, right? Green goo everywhere. And I didn't see that scene until yesterday because I saw the edited version. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw the edited version in the States on regular TV, and that wasn't in there. And I was like, yes! Oh, that's fucking awesome. She microwaves him, dude. It's cool as shit. It's a great scene.
Yeah.
This mother thirsty boy.
Then gets attacked by another gremlin, and I think she stabs it to death in the sink.
Yes, with a butcher knife. Yes.
With a butcher knife, Yeah, what is hilarious.
Yeah.
However, so you have now there are only 2 more of the gremlins left. No? Shortly before all of this goes down, and this is one thing I remember, Billy calls his mom and tells her to get out of the house. Yeah?
Finally.
But this is before all of this went down. This is before she went upstairs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because Billy, what happens before this scene is the doctor gets killed by one of the gremlins.
Yeah.
Now this is also laid out because the doctor, they're not the doctor, the teacher. Yeah? He goes into the other room and he hears the gremlin running around, mumbling something. Tries to pull out a candy bar and give it to the gremlin because he knows how he likes to eat.
Yeah.
Eventually, the gremlin is hiding, I think, underneath the desk.
Yeah.
And he tries to give it underneath the desk. You first hear the gremlin saying "yum yum," and then you hear the teacher start screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got his hand. Yeah.
This is obviously where, of course, the gremlin is going to do something to him.
Yeah.
Billy, hearing this, runs into the room, and sees that the gremlin killed the teacher. And had a fucking syringe just stuck a syringe in his ass.
Yeah, because he'd been sticking it with a syringe earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. However, this is where Billy calls his mom and tells her to get out of the house. Then you see one of the gremlins ripping out the cable from the telephone. So
they can't make any calls. Yeah.
So we can't make any calls. She goes up, and then basically everything happens that I explained. Yeah. After the mom, slaughtered the 3 gremlins in the kitchen, she hears something in the front room going in there. No, she picks up a butcher knife because she knows that probably two of these other gremlins are probably in there.
Yeah.
It's not stated what they are yet. Just that, something's happening. However, she goes into the front room and doesn't hear, and it's quiet. And still she hears something from the Christmas tree. She walks up the Christmas tree, and one of the gremlins jumps at her while it's in the tree because it's hiding in the Christmas tree. And then she starts fighting with the gremlin that's hiding in the Christmas tree. She throws it into the chimney where the fire is.
And it burns to death.
And it burns to death. This is the moment where Billy comes home. He comes running through the door, sees that his mom is okay, and he says, "Okay, where are the Mogwais?" And he's like, "Yeah, they're all dead." And where's Gizmo? Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what he
one
said.
to death, blew one up with a microwave, and then ground one into bits with the blender. You're welcome.
Then Billy Strife shows himself. Billy looks at his mom, looks at him. But before they can do anything, Strife jumps through the window and runs out.
And it's gone. Yes.
And it's gone. Yeah. Billy takes Gizmo in a backpack, and his mom brings them over to the neighbors and tells them just to look after them.
Yeah.
And then Billy at this point goes after Strife.
Yeah.
Trying to, obviously at this point, wanting to stop it. No? Exactly.
Right.
Then this is where Billy chases Strife into a YMCA. Yeah? Looking for him there. No? I think shortly before this, Billy actually saw one of the gremlins that killed the teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah? I forgot that one because there was a thing going on where however, Billy is looking for Strife. In the YMCA, where kind of Strife is kind of hiding, kind of not, because he jumps at Billy a few times, scratching him, then runs off. And Billy chases him into the area where the swimming pool is, and Strife is just jumping, laughing, or whatever. What Strife does not notice is that the swimming pool is there. And then Strife falls into the swimming pool.
Game over.
Game over. And this causes a massive chain reaction because, of course, if the amount of water depends how much gremlins now are going to be born, and he jumps into a fucking swimming pool, it's a chain reaction.
Yes,
And
you're
this-
talking
and
about
you-
thousands
Thousand.
of gremlins. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. However, you see, then you see like fog coming out of the water and everything.
Yeah.
And Billy at this point just grabs the bag of Gizmo and runs out of the YMCA.
Because what the
knowing
fuck
that
else
something-
are you gonna do? Seriously.
Yeah. Of course, what is he going to do? He just takes it and runs for it. And does the physiological thing. He goes to the cops.
Yeah.
About this. No?
Yeah.
However, no? I think you see
Who are
Billy
drunk? The
trying to
cops are drunk.
they're drunk as shit because this is a village where nothing ever happens, and it's Christmas.
Yes.
So the cops are like they're just at home getting they're in the police station getting wasted.
Yeah.
Then Billy comes running in, explaining things in that Gremlins that basically we're gonna have a Gremlin invasion in the city or whatever. And of course the cops are like, "You're fucking crazy." He shows them Gizmo.
Yeah.
And the cops are instantly like, "Oh, how cute!" They start playing with Gizmo because they like him. No, what does not help his position because Billy is trying to convince the cops that these cute little shits
Yeah.
are somehow
Become
going to
evil,
destroy
terrible monsters. Yes. Yeah.
They're like, yeah, they don't believe anything.
No.
Huh? Until they instantly start getting calls because this cuts out to a scene where we first see Strife running down the road, no, and then countless, hundreds, thousands other gremlins come behind him running down the roads, and this,
Yeah.
chaos. After this, chaos breaks out. No,
This is the part I wanted to bring up though, Mike. And I've never heard anybody bring this up before, but maybe you've heard the argument before, or maybe something in Gremlins 2 kind of explains it. I don't remember. But he gets in the pool, and obviously a bunch of Mogwai should be born, right?
No.
Not Gremlins. They should be Mogwai, right? But the next scene that you see him, he comes out of the shadows with 1,000 Gremlins behind him. So was Stripe able to feed all of these Mogwai and create gremlins? Or if a gremlin gets water on him, does he produce gremlins? That's my question.
they produce gremlins.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mogwais,
that's something that's not explained in this movie, but I guess that's
it's not explained in the movie. It's showed in the sequel.
okay.
Mogwais produce Mogwais, gremlins produce gremlins. Mogwais will always see
Okay.
Mogwais unless you feed them after midnight. Once they turn into gremlins,
Right.
they will produce other gremlins.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
it makes
you see this. Yeah, you see. Yeah. I mean, I never really thought of that, but it was actually logical to me because there's no other logical way this could have happened that fast.
yeah.
No.
That's why I was concerned. I was like, well, did we skip a part in the film? Did they just not think about that when they were creating it? But it does make sense that a gremlin would produce a gremlin. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, it shows. It shows it also specifically in the sequel, where a fire breaks out in one of the studios, and 3 of the gremlins get wet, and it shows them reproducing.
Okay.
It shows them producing gremlins.
So they cleared
Not
that up
normal.
with part 2 then. That's good.
Exactly.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. However, yeah, exactly. However, this is the most funny scene because gremlins are now loose in the city, just wreaking havoc on everything. The cops
Yes.
are following one of the cars they got, and they left Billy in the police station. No, they didn't. They weren't dicks or anything. They didn't arrest him or anything. They were just like, "Hey, go home, dude, and spend time with your with your family."
Yeah.
Fine, cool. take your cute pet and go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are reasonable police in this film. I will say they're very
Yeah.
reasonable. And then also very not shocked by anything when they do see it. Like when they finally do
Yes.
see the gremlins, it's like, oh yeah, well, there's one of those things.
No, because actually this is the crazy thing because they stop on the street, no, and they see the gremlins attacks a guy dressed up as Santa Claus. He has gremlins all over him, no, and it's like, what is happening isn't that they say his name even. He says, yeah, he's doing Santa Claus this year. You see all these gremlins attacking Santa Claus while
It's a
Santa
great
Claus
scene.
is
Yeah.
crawling up to the police car. And when he does that, the one cop just rolls up the police door slowly.
He rolls up the window and they drive away. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck, dude?
No, because funny thing is, you see one of the gremlins come to the car, pulling
Right.
destroying their brakes so they can't stop anymore.
Right.
Funny scene is while the car, the cop is rolling up the window, you see one of the gremlins looking up at him while they're destroying Santa Claus, laughing his ass off at it. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course,
These things are rarely angry. They're just very happy with everything that they do. Which is what you would expect from gremlins, right? They
yeah.
get happiness out of destroying everything. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to dislike them, actually. I have a hard time seeing them as monsters because if I had one, I would just enjoy watching him destroy things all day.
That's what,
You know?
that is what makes this movie most enjoyable. It's just they're happy at everything they do, even though they're destroying this town. The
Yes.
funny thing is, you see one funny scene. You see like one of the gremlins fucking around with the street lights.
Yeah.
One of the cables turning around, making everybody crash together. No, and when they crash, is sitting there like,
Yeah. He's fucking with the wires from the street lights and like putting them together, and it's making the lights flash, and you hear cars crashing. He's just fucking loving it, dude. These creatures of chaos. You can't hate them.
Yeah, and then of course the cops eventually see everything happening, everything's exploding, chaos everywhere. No, they see gremlins attacking people all the time. And they try to stop at one of the streetlights. They can't because one of the gremlins destroyed their brakes.
Yeah.
And then the car flips.
Yeah. And then I think, Mike, this is the scene where we get the most like gratifying movie death of any movie, in my opinion. Right? Isn't this the scene?
This is where I wanted to come up to, because here we're at Mrs. Deagle's house, the dragon lady.
Yes.
You know? She's here. She's now it's established she's an old cat lady. Like she likes cats. What's kind of weird because the most people that are old cat ladies generally like animals.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a contradiction to her. Well, it's kind of a contradiction to her character. No,
a little bit. Yeah.
Because my ex was a little bit that way. Like she liked cats, but she hated dogs.
That's weird. I don't know how you can like cats and not like dogs.
Yeah, for some reason. But even I'm just taking my ex for an example. She would have never harmed a dog in any way.
No,
even though she did not like them. She just did not want dogs to be near her. If they're everywhere else, she's fine. She just didn't want them near her. Well, it's kind of weird in a way. No,
I have a hard time trusting people that don't like dogs, Mike.
Yeah, I know. However, she's taking care of her cats and everything. You know, like calling them her babies or whatever. And still she hears people singing outside. And she's like, oh, he gets pissed off and wants to throw a bucket of water at him when she opens up the door.
Yeah. She thinks it's carolers. Yeah.
Yeah. Gremlin's standing there like just acting like they're singing, but they're actually just laughing their asses off. No? She gets scared, closes the door. At this time, there are already gremlins in her house. And she has like a lot of old people have, you know, these elevators that help them up the stairs.
It's like, I forget what it's actually called, but
Me too.
It's like a chair that attaches to a rail system that goes all the way up the stairs. So old people will sit on it and it'll bring them down. And it'll also take them back up. Yeah.
And at this point, while she is looking at the other gremlins, another gremlin is in her house, fucking around with this chair. I like literally tuning it up to whatever level. This is the most funny thing because she wants to get help and call the cops, but her phone is upstairs. Sits in this chair and it goes so fucking fast up the stairs. The chair flies through the room, out of the window, on the other street of the.
With her in it, dude. This scene is rewatchable 1,000 times. It
It's
is
just like, and cops are
brilliant.
driving by. The cops are driving by, like, oh, look, there's Mrs. Eagle House.
All you see is the fucking chair on the ground in the snow with her 2 legs sticking up, dead as fuck. I love it, dude, because she sits in that chair and it just goes like light speed up the stairs, and she's screaming the whole fucking time. And then you get a view from outside the house and you still hear her screaming. And then you see a window break and this chair with her in it fly out of it and land in the fucking snow. I fucking love it. Best scene in the movie. Best scene in the movie.
Scene. You also see, then it cuts to Mr. Fuderman. And he's having problems with it. He's trying to watch TV, but it's not working out. He's like, I'm going to go out and check out the antenna.
Yeah.
you see multiple gremlins hanging on the antenna, just fucking around with it. Super funny. However, when he's outside, he sees somebody getting in his tractor. And because the gremlins are now in his tractor, chasing him down with his tractor. He runs into the house, and then the gremlins just go with the tractor through the house to when he's sitting there with his wife. And then he sees them. He's, oh, look, there's the gremlin. Gremlins are driving my tractor.
And it smashes into them, too, in their house. Like, the tractor goes through the house and then against the wall where they are. So, in my opinion, when watching the first part, I thought this guy died. I thought him and his wife died. But he's in part 2.
That's what it hints towards, but they're in the sequel. So apparently somehow they survived. No?
Yeah.
However, then it cuts to Kate in the bar because there are like also a pretty funny scene because this bar is filled with gremlins.
Yes.
And Kate, of course, this is another scene that people brought up to be unrealistic because why did she just not leave?
I thought the same thing. I've actually seen memes about this for like at least 10 years where it shows the picture of her continuing to serve gremlins in the bar. And the meme always says something like, Kate, best bartender of the year award 10 years running. Because she just keeps serving these gremlins, right?
Yeah, well.
But she's doing it because she doesn't want them to attack her.
Exactly. That's the most obvious. That's a thing people brought up. Why does she not leave?
Mhm.
This is like, these are countless gremlins in the bar, for example. No? And it's established in this scene also, these gremlins are highly intelligent and capable of using weapons.
Yeah.
And 2 of them have guns. So
yes,
it's kind of obvious
and they're shooting
she's
each other
still
with
there.
them.
They're shooting each other with
Yeah.
them. And she's obviously serving them because as long as she does that, she's afraid that they're going to do something to her.
Yeah.
Because you see the gremlins just getting super wasted, beating the shit out of each other. Fucking hilarious.
It looks like a bar full of soldiers in Germany, dude.
Yeah. She looks down at one of the gremlins, and the gremlin flashes at her. Remember that scene?
Yeah. He's got like the typical trench coat on, and he's like, nah. Yeah.
Then it cuts to the scene where Strife is playing. Strife is playing poker with all the other gremlins. One of the other gremlins dressed up as a woman.
Yeah. Yes.
And then I don't know. The gremlin that's dressed up as a woman says something to Strife, and Strife just pulls out a gun, shoots him, and starts laughing. Then it cuts down to this melancholical scene where we see this one gremlin just sitting there smoking a cigarette with a glass of whiskey.
Yeah. It looks like a film noir kind of thing. He's off by himself.
Exactly, a film noir.
Fedora on and a little glass of whiskey, smoking a cigarette, like he's not excited. It looks like a film noir scene. Yeah. It's really well done, and it comes out of nowhere too. But it's
absolutely out of nowhere. It's still you see a puppet coming up, start making smooth noises at it.
Yeah.
Until it zooms out and it sees one of the other gremlins. And then that gremlin gets shot
with
by
2
the
hand
other
puppets.
gremlin.
Yeah.
And then you just see that one gremlin just instantly start laughing, like
yeah.
It's just
they don't give a shit, dude. They're just there to destroy everything.
And they're happy and they're laughing all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to hate the creatures. I think that might be one of the reasons this is not completely classified as a horror movie, because these things are laughing the entire time. They're hilarious. I actually watched the film and I'm like, I really don't want them to die. I'm enjoying watching them destroy everything. It's great. I know some
Yeah.
cities that need gremlins, really.
Yeah. However, Kate notices that the gremlins are sensible to light because one of the gremlins sitting there has multiple cigarettes in his mouth, but not lit. Yeah. So she tries to light the cigarettes for it. Yeah. And it pulls back. She tries it multiple
Because of the
times,
fire, yeah.
and it keeps on pulling back. And she also notices that it's the fire, the light, at least. Then she pulls out a Polaroid camera and
Yes.
starts taking pictures of them because the light makes them scare off. That gives her the
Yeah.
room so she can run out the room. So she sees one of the gremlins mugging her with a mask on, pointing a gun at her. Shoot! I mean, I don't think it shoots another gremlin, not her.
Yeah.
And then I think Billy comes running in and hits the other gremlin and falls on the floor.
Yeah.
Billy grabs Kate.
Yeah.
and
He
they run
basically
out.
comes in and pulls her
Yeah,
out.
like
Yeah.
exactly. And he has Gizmo with her. No, I think this is where her first introduction to Gizmo. Huh?
First time she's
I
seen him.
don't fully remember what happens entirely, but after this short period, no, everything goes quiet.
Yeah. The
within
entire
a
town.
matter-
All the people have hidden themselves in their house.
Exactly. I mean,
Quiet.
after this point, after all this chaos, just like you said, all the people have hidden themselves in their house now, and everything goes quiet. You don't see the gremlins around anymore. And this is like,
Yeah.
also Billy and Kate are like, where are they? Huh? And this is also where by the time Billy notices that it's short before sunrise.
Right.
And Billy assumes that they probably have gathered at a specific place because the gremlins know that the sun is going to go up.
Right.
And sunlight is basically to gremlins as it is to vampires. They will die.
They're nocturnal
They will burn.
creatures. Yeah.
They will burn when they go out in the sun. And then they go into the movie theater. Not because I think that is where they assume where the gremlins could be.
Yeah, that's what
When
they
they go-
assume. He says something like, he's like, where would these things go to congregate that was big enough to hold all of them that's away from sunlight? And she says, the movie theater. And that's why they're like, okay. So they went to the movie theater. And sure enough, they were right.
They were right because when they go into the movie theater, they see one of the gremlins getting popcorn.
Yeah.
No? And then they go into the hall and they see all of the gremlins watching Snow White. It's also a funny scene because
Yes.
I like the scene where it's Snow White with a hey ho, it's off to work we go, and you see all of the gremlins just singing along
Swinging
with
back
that
and forth
stuff.
and singing to the song. And this is one of the things I love because I guess he's upstairs in the booth where the film is actually like being shown, and he's looking out, and Kate can't see what he sees, and he's just staring out there in like disbelief, and she's like, What are they doing? What are they doing? He's like, they're watching Snow White, and they love it.
It's funny how then they lock the doors of the hall so the gremlins can't get out. Then Billy goes down and opens up the gas lights.
Yes.
So it's clear that at this point they're planning on just
Burning the whole
exploding the
ground. Yeah.
burning the whole thing down. No, however,
Which would there not have been a better way to do this? I was thinking that during this film. I was like, this seems like a very haphazard way of getting rid of these things. To blow up a movie.
Yeah, well,
theater.
it's not.
But whatever.
It's not really like. How should I say it? It might be a little bit. It might not be the best way, but you see, even Billy and Kate, they aren't people that are very experienced with these type of things.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So
good point.
I mean, I think just this is in the heat of the moment. This is the best plan they could have came up with.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
Because
enough.
they're all gathered at one point. Just blow the fucking building up. If they blow that building
It worked
up, by
for
the time the
Inglourious
building is blown
Bastards.
up, the gremlins that don't get burned in the fire, gremlins that don't get burned in the fire, they're going to get burned by sunlight.
Right.
So I'm not entirely sure how, but Billy locks the doors and he opens up the gas in the scene. I think they put a put of some kind of cloth in a burnable fluid.
Yeah.
And then shortly before they leave, they turn it on.
Yeah.
During this entire thing, the Gremlins notice that they're there, and then they start attacking, coming through the stream.
Yep.
This is a scene where you see like Billy and Kate
Yep.
being chased by all the Gremlins through this hall until they get out and they close the door, and Billy blocks the door with a chair. Shortly before they left the house, they turn on this cloth. Once it reaches the gas pipe, it'll explode. But at this point, what they did, and basically what happens, the place explodes and all the Gremlins in the movie theater burn to death. Except for one, because shortly before they locked down the movie theater, Strife went out to get something to eat. And when the movie theater explodes, you see Strife sitting there with all of his food, wanting to go back and enjoy the movie. And now all of his friends got killed. So he has a short shot on his face.
Yes.
Now he's pissed. No? Then Billy and Kate look at Strife, no? While he's super pissed at them, just looking angry at them, and runs back into the store.
Yeah.
No? Okay. Billy and Kate break into the store to hunt down Strife, because Billy says, okay, we have to get to him before he comes in contact with water, or it'll just repeat itself. What basically just happened. So this is kind of a funny scene where Billy is more or less chasing Strife through this store. It was kind of a toy store and electric store and other things.
I kind of got the feeling that this was a mall, like a mini mall.
Yeah.
It's got everything in it, from a sports goods store to a toy store to a garden center. It's basically like Walmart, I would assume.
Yeah, exactly. However, Strife eventually gets a chainsaw and attacks Billy with it. And Billy holds off Strife with a baseball bat. And it's like, okay, I mean, there are baseball bats made out of metal and made out of wood.
Yeah.
This is like the only scene where, like, okay, I get when people complain about this, because he's attacking him with a chainsaw and Billy is able to fight him off with a baseball bat.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's hitting him with it either. He's got it like above his head, and Stripe is just like has the chainsaw on the bat and is grinding through it, which would have gone a lot faster than it did, right? But this scene feels like it goes on for a while. And then I think, to get him off of him, she uses the Polaroid again and flashes Stripe while he's got the chainsaw going.
Exactly.
And I love this scene too, because he gets shocked by the light and he flips the chainsaw behind him and the blade hits the ground and keeps going, which pulls him like across the floor in like this zigzag pattern all around the floor, which is really funny looking. Pretty cool scene.
Until the cord gets pulled out and the Strife falls down. Strife gets up again and runs. No? Until Strife sees a garden area where there's a water fountain.
Yeah.
Huh? So he walks up the water fountain and sticks his finger in the water. Not because obviously. No? This is quite a funny scene, because this is where Gizmo comes into play.
Yes.
He hops into a Barbie car that he apparently can drive.
Where the fuck did this Barbie car come from, Mike? Because I don't
Super fun.
Barbie car exists.
It's crazy. This is just a scene to show adorable Gizmo, because Gizmo is now driving in this Barbie car through the mall. No, I think drives the Barbie car through a window, and then jumps out and then falls off on the side somewhere. You see sunlight coming through the window, shining directly at the area where Strife is.
Right.
And this is the point where you see also Gremlins, Strife, multiplying, because you see these bubbles coming out of his back. Yeah?
Yeah.
And this is also where Strife dies. He burns to death and then falls into the fountain. No?
But only because Gizmo is the one that basically kills him, because when Gizmo falls off the car, he realizes that the blinds are down. So there's all the sunlight is not able to come through. So what Gizmo does is he grabs the shade, pulls down, and it goes up, and he goes up with it. Like he's screaming, bright light the whole time. Right. So he goes up in the air, lands back down, and that's when all the sunlight is just hitting Stripe. And it pretty gory scene, even though it's not human blood, but still cool scene.
Yeah. However, Strife burns by the sunlight and falls into the fountain. Billy takes Gizmo, wraps him up so he can't get in contact with the sunlight,
Right.
and walks up towards the fountain with Kate until Strife jumps back out of the fountain, but only his skeleton at this point. His skeleton devolves into
it's just a
some
skeleton.
weird fluid, and Strife is dead at this point. No?
Mhm.
Okay, then Billy and Kate walk off and go back to his house. No?
Yeah.
Kate, obviously, Billy brings Kate home because it shows them later off in the night. The dad comes home. No? This is also a scene we forgot where the dad is on his way home and he sells a guy at the gas
Yeah,
station
the smokeless
one of his
ashtray, yeah.
inventions that don't work, by the way. Yeah, however,
Doesn't work.
at this point, it's then it shows Billy with his parents watching TV and everything that has happened over the night. All the havoc is being shown on news.
Yeah.
But nobody knows what happens because Billy also states that the Gremlins make everything they do look like an accident.
Yes.
That's all they're hardwired. No, so
Yeah.
there's no evidence of Gremlins ever existing, just things that were going wrong. That's being on the news.
Yeah.
No?
Right.
And they're watching the news together with Gizmo until somebody knocks at the door,
Mhm.
and it's the old man from the from
Yeah.
the store. No,
Mr.
that's
Miyagi.
there to
Yeah.
Mr. Miyagi. That's there to pick up Gizmo. No, it's not sure if this state if Billy's dad called the grandfather or if he somehow tracked them down, one or the two or whatever.
I
No,
would assume tracked him down because I don't think
Yeah.
the father had the number, but it's really easy to look at the news, see what's going on, and know that that was probably your Mogwai that caused that shit. Right?
Yeah. However, the old man comes in and instantly sees Gizmo watching TV and is aggravated, like you taught it to watch TV. And this is where Billy kind of does not want to give up Gizmo, but you know, the dad is like, yeah, we're gonna have to give Gizmo back to him.
Yeah.
The old man just, basically yells at the father, not at Billy, but at the father. I told you this thing is not for sale. I told you it comes with responsibility. He shows out TV. Look what happened. This happens if you don't handle these creatures right. No?
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't think this would happen, but no, however.
I'm sorry to
Um,
cut it though, because there's a shit ton of dead people.
Yes.
We
But
didn't see a lot of people die per se, but there's a shit ton of dead people in this town.
a lot of people died that were killed by the Gremlins.
Yes.
No? Yeah. However, the old man, Mr. Miyagi, puts Gizmo back in his box and leaves the house. No? Shortly before that, the old man listens to Gizmo and he opens up the box. He says that Gizmo wants to tell you something. And Gizmo just looks at Billy and says, "Goodbye, Billy."
Yeah.
Super cute
cute.
scene, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super cute. No?
It's a cutie.
The dad says to show that he's sorry, gives the old man one of his smokeless ashtrays. And the old man is instantly like, "Oh yeah, the smokeless ashtray. A guy at the gas station wanted to sell it to me. The newest invention. Yeah, right. It'll come in handy, no?" The old man
Yeah.
takes the smokeless ashtray, knowing that it's a sign of gesture because the old man realizes that these are nice people. That dad's just a fucking idiot. He's
Yeah.
a nice guy, yes, he's stupid.
Yeah.
However, the old man takes the smokeless ashtray and then leaves.
Yeah.
And this is also a very nice scene. You see the old man walking down the road in the night on Christmas. And you see the narrator saying something like, this is how the story ends. And just think, people, if at every time your TV stops working or your fridge or anything, or just is not working at the moment, it's all of a sudden broken, maybe you should just check your entire house. Check every little corner.
Right.
Because you never know
Yeah.
if there's a gremlin in your house.
Right.
And that's where it ends.
Fucking brilliant film, dude.
Yes, and
I think from start to finish, I can't find anything I don't like about it. You're gonna hear a lot of people, like we said
me neither.
before, saying this is not a horror movie. I disagree. This is definitely a horror movie. It's just on the very dark humor side of horror.
Yeah.
And it's one of those too, like we talked about Poltergeist. I know there's a big argument there that Steven Spielberg didn't have a whole lot to do with that film and that Tobe Hooper was the guy who did most of it. But
Yeah.
I disagree. I think I would go to bat to say Steven Spielberg, if he touches a film, he adds that almost like childlike aspect to a film to make it watchable for all ages. Because this is not a movie that I wouldn't show to kids. Like it's a fun movie. Like it's a
I mean,
horror
I
movie,
saw.
but
Yeah.
any kid could watch this movie.
Yeah, I watched it too when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I remember that totally.
I saw
Gremlins 1,
great.
Gremlins 1 and Gremlins 2. I watched this movie, even though Gremlins 2 is way more wacky than this one. I mean, Gremlins 2, you definitely, it cannot be considered to be a horror movie. This one, yes, because they have the horror aspect to it, but Gremlins 2 is just dark humor fantasy.
It's just dark humor.
it's-
Yeah,
And it's,
it's dark comedy. And to be fair, we had talked about on the last podcast when we mentioned that we were going to do this movie that in this film, it's the same director that did part 2, but this director was told for Gremlins 1, the things that he wanted to do with this movie were not going to work. And so he didn't do it.
yeah.
So when he got the rights to do Gremlins 2, he's like, okay, everything I wanted to put in Gremlins 1, I'm putting in Gremlins 2. And that's why that movie is just wacky as fuck. Not a bad movie. It's just not as good as part 1.
And that's true. I
Right.
mean, Gremlins 2 is great. It's just, I don't know. It's total fucking off the wall.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's-
Gremlins 2 is absolutely off the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, but one of the funniest scenes is Strife is back in Gremlins 2,
Mhm.
but he becomes super intelligent because he drinks some potion at the laboratory. And
Yeah.
a lot of funny scenes happening because you see in an interview that Strife is doing, and it's sitting there talking totally intellectual, like, and then he's like, yeah, but we have to make order, and chaos is not good. You see another gremlin coming up, just fucking around doing
And
shit.
he shoots
Strife
him.
is like, is it like this? You see, this is exactly what I am talking about. This is chaos. This is not funny. This is not. This is just chaos. We can't do this. He picks up a gun. Boom. That's how you solve the problem.
Which it's I'm not really sure how Stripe is able to come back. Like I said, I haven't watched
No,
Gremlins 2 enough.
It's a different character. It is Strife. It's not the same Strife. I mean, this is where Billy works in a mall. No?
Yeah.
And Gizmo gets wet again. But just other Mogwais are born. And there's one, they call him Strife. He looks the Mogwais, compared to Gremlins 2, they look all differently. In Gremlins 1, they look all kind of identical when it comes to the colors. As Gizmo, that's not the way in the second part.
Yeah.
In the second part, they all have different colors. Strife, by the way, is black. His fur is black. No?
Okay.
But he's just called Strife, but it's not the same Mogwai or Gremlin. It's just.
But I would say it's probably safe to assume that one Mogwai is born with the stripe on his head of the hair, and that's automatically going to be the leader of the Mogwai. I would assume, if that's the way it's going.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
That's like the alpha trait of these creatures. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll probably do Gremlins 2 eventually because I need to watch it again anyway. And there are a lot of fans of that movie, so we might as well. But just safe to say, though, it is not as good of a movie as this one was.
No, not at all.
Gremlins 1 is definitely like the epitome of, the whole Gremlins story. I am interested to see what happens with part 3, though, now that we're getting a green light. And what direction they're going to go with it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, how should I say it? To be honest, I don't even think they had to make Gremlins 2. This movie would have been great on its own. No? Even though I like Gremlins 2. I liked it. It was great. Christopher, what's his name? Christopher. Who's plays in Gremlins 2? Christopher. It's like Christopher Reed. No? Is that his name?
Christopher Reed, yeah.
Christopher Reed is in Gremlins 2. No? How should I say it? I don't really know about Gremlins 3. I'm not excited for it, neither am I hyped for it, because I just think it's another pointless sequel that nobody asked for. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, Gremlin fans have been asking for a sequel for a long time.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Gremlins 3, to be honest, I've been reading so much stuff about it for so long. I don't know. I just don't think
It's
it's
been in
gonna.
development hell,
If
like
it happens,
every movie of every popular franchise.
it's in production hell, and if it happens, I don't think it's going to be good because it's the same thing you had with Ghostbusters 2016.
Ugh, God, don't get me
Fans wanted a sequel. No, the studio. I mean, I think it was Dan Aykroyd even at that one point in an interview said that Ghostbusters 3 is being made. It was also another movie that was in production hell. No, then the actor that played Egon died. They had to rewrite the entire thing, and there was multiple things going on that you can't put. That is probably not to be fault by a singular person, but there was a lot of chaos going on with this movie.
Yeah.
Until it was entirely rewrote, and in 2015, they posted the first trailer of the Ghostbusters remake. And this is like, I saw it. I saw the Ghostbusters 2016. And to be honest, it's not a bad movie. Just, it's gender swap Ghostbusters, and it's not bad. But the thing is, the studio that made this movie, they hyped up the fans for Ghostbusters 3 for years.
Yeah.
For years, they hyped up Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah.
And then they put this out.
Yeah.
And the thing I said, it's not really, of course, you can get into the woke conversation, even though that's ridiculous. When it comes to those kind of discussions, it does not matter what side you're on. All the time, both sides are kind of a little bit ridiculous, in my opinion. No?
Yeah.
But that what it was tied to, the Ghostbusters 2016, but what nobody mentions, I haven't seen any articles, any social media platforms, anybody actually talking about how the studio hyped up the people for Ghostbusters 3 for years, from 2007 up until 2014. All fans were convinced they were making Ghostbusters 3. And then they put this out. I just found it funny how that is never mentioned.
I mean, I've heard that argument a few times though. It's kind of like this is what Hollywood does though. And it's not just Ghostbusters they did it with. If you have a movie that fans want and it's in development hell for the longest time, the thing that Hollywood tends to do is put out a reboot. That's what they do. Instead of doing a sequel, they put out a reboot. And the same thing happened with the Friday the 13th movie, although the reboot was not bad. I actually liked the reboot of Friday the 13th. But that was supposed to be the next Friday the 13th film. And because they could not come up with a script or a director, they did a reboot. That's exactly what they did with Ghostbusters. And it pissed everybody off.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's just, it's how, I mean, yeah, the reboot was just, I don't know, it was fine.
It was funny. I'll say it. It was funny. It just was not Ghostbusters. It wasn't Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it was okay. I wouldn't call it funny. I watched it and I was like, yeah, okay, it's fine.
I mean, so Chris Hemsworth character made the movie worth it for me. He was just a complete fucking idiot, and every scene he was in was hilarious.
Yeah.
So for that reason alone, I feel like it was worth watching. But I also was not a fan of the Saturday Night Live crew that they got together to make that movie with. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's also.
It was a good idea, maybe poorly executed, very poorly executed. And they didn't bother tying in the original Ghostbusters at all to it. It was like a completely separate universe. Hollywood should do a lot less of that. But arguably, though, too, Mike, a lot of movies don't need another sequel. Ghostbusters was one of them. It's had 2 sequels now after Ghostbusters 2, and neither of them were good. Sorry. I did not like Ghostbusters 3, and I watched like 5 minutes of Ghostbusters 4 and it's like, nah, no thanks.
I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him. I watched the first two. I like both of them. But the thing is, when it comes to Ghostbusters, I watched Ghostbusters 1 and 2, and I watched the Saturday cartoon show as a kid to
Yeah,
death.
of course, I loved it.
Even though
Yeah,
even though that was already, by the way, a sequel to the movies.
yes, it was. Yes, it was. The recipe was already there, and I think the
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters cartoon, had a super long run, and everybody loved it. I mean, I watched it as a kid.
Yes.
I had all the
Yeah.
toys. Slimer's
Yeah.
addition to it was really good. I mean, Saturday morning cartoons kind of kept movies alive that didn't get a sequel.
Yeah.
Um, and I was fine with that. I don't think it needed a part 3 and a part 4, and it definitely didn't need a reboot. And maybe
Yeah.
Gremlins doesn't either. They
But
could
part
go
3 and
2
part
different ways
I
with
mean,
it. Could be go ahead.
but part 3 and part 4 came after the reboot somehow.
Yes. Yeah, the
It
reboot
was
came out and it angered everybody to the point they were like, "Okay, now we have to release a sequel." And that's what they did. And it wasn't good. At least in my opinion, I didn't really like it.
I can't make any statement on that. Haven't seen it. I
Okay.
can't. I don't know.
Just
I
don't
don't know if it's
bother.
good or
I
not.
mean, it's I will say this, it is a nice farewell to Harold Ramis, who played Egon. It's a
Yeah.
nice farewell to that character. They did it very tastefully and they did it really well. To where it wasn't like cheesy and it was pretty heartfelt and they brought all the rest of the original crew back. For that reason alone, it was a really nice farewell, but as a movie, not really. Not
Okay.
really all
Yeah.
that great.
Yeah.
It
However,
didn't need to be.
that's just kind of the thing how I see Gremlins 3. I don't see it being good in any way just because I don't even think they had to make Gremlins 3. I would have been fine if it stays that way. What I would be cool with if it would go full horror in
Yeah,
Gremlins 3. That would be
yeah,
interesting to
I'm
see. I have
always
to
for
say
that.
that. Huh? But
I'm always for that. I could say the
but
same thing about Killer Clowns from Outer Space. If you're gonna
yes,
do a sequel to that,
absolutely.
go full
Yeah.
horror, go full
Yeah.
gore, and it'll be worth
Yeah. But even if it's just like the same thing was with Beetlejuice 2.
it. Oh, God.
Sorry. I mean, I like Beetlejuice. It was a great movie. Yeah, but Beetlejuice 2, I was bored by that show.
That
I
was
I
the
I I
most
I mean that
incoherent piece of shit
I mean, just straight up to begin with,
that I've ever
I was
seen.
never hyped. I was never hyped for Beetlejuice 2, even though, yeah, it's by Tim Burton or whatever. Yeah, it's just like I just could never got hyped for it. No, and I watched it eventually when it came out on streaming or whatever, and it was like, I mean, I was never really a big Beetlejuice fan, but I liked the first movie. It was okay. It was
Oh, I
cool. It was
love the
kind. It was
first
fun.
movie, man.
It was funny.
The first movie for me was a staple of my childhood. I probably watched that movie a million times.
Yeah.
Like my mom would just put the movie on because she knew
I
that's what I wanted to see every day.
I just usually tend to I like Tim Burton's way of making movies.
Yeah.
He has this certain aesthetic he puts towards them that makes it cool. And that's what I
It's
like
very
about Beetlejuice.
stylized. Yeah.
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 And one positive thing I can say about Beetlejuice 2 is it did have that entire Tim Burton feeling to it.
Yes.
Yeah. But all of the plots in there. I mean, for one, you have like Winona Ryder and her daughter, played by Jenna Ortega, that plot line going on. Then you have the plot line with Beetlejuice and his ex-wife going on. And
Then you have another
the
plot with the ghost kid who befriends the daughter who wants to take
exactly.
her soul back to like the afterlife so he can trade it.
Yeah,
The movie's an incoherent mess. And
yeah,
it's obvious that they just tried to cash in on the whole first film without really putting a coherent script together.
yeah,
And that bothers me. And I feel like they did the same thing with Ghostbusters. Sorry, not sorry.
yeah, yeah. True, true, true. And I do think, and that's the kind of thing I think that's what they're going to do with Gremlins 3, if it happens. If it happens.
If it happens. I mean, supposedly
Yeah.
it's gotten the green light, but I mean, it might not make it out of production.
Batman. It's got green light multiple times over the years.
Yeah, true.
So
Green light doesn't
I
mean
mean,
anything anymore.
no, not really. I do not really care. I mean, how often have they said they were going to retcon the Star Wars franchise? They haven't done it.
Tons of them. No,
How often have I mean the point is we have heard this stuff more than enough. Yeah. And not only rumors by the internet on the internet, you have heard this stuff by people that officially worked at Disney,
yeah,
at Lucasfilms.
yeah,
Higher ups that have mentioned this stuff.
yeah.
And so I don't know. For me,
It's
Gremlins
best
3
just to
is a
wait and
movie.
not speculate. But the speculation train is what drives clicks, man.
I know
It is.
what drives clicks.
Yeah.
But for me, I think Gremlins 3 is a movie that does not have to happen. And that if it happens, I personally think it's not going to be good.
We'll see.
But I can only go off of my personal feeling. And for me, it just feels like one of those sequels nobody really asked for, and it's just going to be a cash grab. But that's only my feeling about it.
Yeah, and you can also be certain Steven Spielberg is not going to attach himself to it, which is,
No.
the nail in the coffin for me anyway. Like he made this movie what it is. I wish he would go back to doing more stuff like this because usually if he does funny stuff, it's really good. Or if he does
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
horror themed films, they're really good. Poltergeist being a great example.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg, come back and do another horror movie, please. Anyway, Mike, you got anything else you want to say about Gremlins?
No, I've said everything so far.
Okay. Awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, like my wife had not seen it, this is the first time she's seen it. Just go rent it. It's on Amazon. It's worth it if you have to rent it. It's a fucking awesome movie. And yeah, everybody have a very wonderful Merry Christmas.
Yep.
And
And a
great
Happy New
holiday
Year.
time and a great New Year. And we will see you for season 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Until then, I'm
Okay.
Matt.
See you next year, guys.
The blackest eyes. The darkest eyes. Stay in secret.